Xenia Monet was not the first AI artist. In fact, there was an AI artist that was able to have 6 number ones, go multi-platinum, and also even win a Grammy. A Grammy. And their name was Milli Vanilli, an R&B duo group from Munich, Germany, created in 1988 by the producer Frank Baran. Now, earlier today, I found a tweet from Jermaine Dupri, a legendary producer, and he actually said, so let me get this right. Years ago, the industry found out that Milli Vanilli weren't really voices on their Grammy-winning record, and they were stripped of their Grammy. But now, we're getting ready to accept people who can't even sing, creating songs for a fake person. How is this any different than Milli Vanilli? And when he said that, it actually got me thinking. Now, for my white ends, we got a video by Ray Johnson, and he's actually going to give us a breakdown into who these guys are, what actually happened in their journey, and I'm also going to be reacting as we go through it.
Remember when those guys won a Grammy for an album they lip-synced on? And it was like the biggest news in the world? Well, the story starts with this guy, Frank. And Frank is a successful music producer living in Germany, and this dude will do just about anything to be rich, even deceive people. And one day in 1974, he gets an idea of how to do just that. Why not create a music act where the performers just lip-sync the vocals? Basically, he wants to make it where the pop star doesn't really have to be a good singer, they just have to look the part. And so he tries this out with a music act in Germany called Boney M. And it works. Boney M sees some success. 14 years later...
So, as you guys can see, this guy is a real mad scientist, you could say. He thought to himself, you know what, before AI, I'm going to basically create my own AI artist. I'm going to basically take people that they're not necessarily talented, but they look the part. They're going to be presentable enough for the audience I'm trying to cater to. And we're going to make smash hits, and I'm going to get rich as a result. And to be honest, just spoiler alert, it worked. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these guys eventually won a Grammy. Imagine that. Do you get it? So let's actually understand what actually happened 14 years later. It's crazy.
He decides to try again. He gets a bunch of session singers together, and they create a song called Girl, You Know It's True. And you probably heard it, I don't know, Girl, You Know It's True. Ooh, 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 I love you.
You see that tune there? It's one of them songs that is everywhere, especially growing up, but I didn't know who it was actually by. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, when this came up on my TikTok as well, I was like, oh, so this is the story behind it. And again, I'm a young man, you know what I mean? So for my older lot that's saying, oh, but you don't know about these, like, etc. It is what it is. Do you get it? But very, very interesting, man. Let's see.
You know that song. And after that, he finds 2 handsome guys to lip sync to the song. These 2 guys. They're named Rob and Fab. And Rob and Fab, they're 2 unemployed dancers who can kind of sing, but not as well as the session singers that Frank actually has on the song. And so Frank asks Rob and Fab if they want to be pop stars. All they have to do is lip sync over this pre-recorded song and pretend it's them. No one will ever know. We're gonna be so rich. And Rob and Fab hear this plan and they're like, all right. And so they form a pop music group known as Milli Vanilli. And so Rob and Fab, they get to work. They hit the studio and they start recording an album. Wait, no, actually, they don't do that at all. The session...
Come on, like, they didn't hit the studio, do you know what I mean? But just like that, he was basically able to say to these lot, look, I'm going to give you guys absolutely everything you need. We're going to set everything up for you. All you need to do is look the part, dance around, etc. And it really got me wondering, isn't that the exact same thing that we have right now with the whole AI thing that's going on? You know, we have Suno, for example, the AI app, that you're able to type in whatever prompt going on. For example, we have Suno, where you're able to type in any prompt, and from doing so, you're able to generate an entire song. It's actually insane. I remember the first time my boy showed me this, I was like, bro, and this is like a year or 2 ago, if I'm not mistaken, probably last year, early last year, right, when he showed me this. And I was mind blown. But this was back then. It wasn't even sophisticated. Now, it's ridiculous. Let me actually show you guys. And this is an example of what Suno is actually able to achieve. This is an ad directly from them.
Before Suno.
Like, bro, what? I'm not going to play the rest just in case of copyright and things like that. But we've gotten to a point where AI is so sophisticated that all you have to do is give it an idea and it will give you an entire song. And guys, we already predicted the fact that, look, they were going to do this and people are going to run with it, and eventually it's going to get to a point where people are listening to AI music. And I've made videos about it on this channel many times and times again. I genuinely believe that this is going to be the norm, like, eventually, especially based on the reactions we've been getting from people and the fact that people are really engaging with it. They love it, you know? They're on the vibe of like, the lyrics make sense, we love it, which is crazy. But anyway, let's get back to the video. So after the single came out, you know, they were successful. They had quite a few hits, do you get it? But this basically started to happen.
One hits on it. And suddenly, Rob and Fab are super famous. They're like walking red carpets, they're on the covers of a bunch of different magazines, and their music videos are playing on MTV.
I remember back then, fame was actually fame. It's not like right now where you can kind of just create a TikTok account, be consistent, all of a sudden you're TikTok famous. Nah. It's one of them ones where if you walked in a supermarket or in a super mall for my American audience, right, bro, you're getting swarmed. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are like, it's really, really, you know what I'm saying? It's craziness.
And they're like dancing and they're doing the whole pop star thing. And no one knows it's not really them singing on the album because that's what they tell everyone. And when you look at the liner notes for the album, it says the vocals are by Rob and Fab. However, when they're doing interviews, people start to notice that they speak with heavy accents because Rob is German and Fab is French.
Oh, it's great to win an achievement, but of course, the next album, you know, has to be the same as good as the second.
Guys, you know what I mean? And the thing is that whenever you're listening to R&B, typically, regardless of wherever you are in the world, it's usually going to sound American because that's where it comes from. Do you know what I mean? Even people in the UK, for example, when they're singing, you're thinking, oh, is this person American? And even when they start to sing in a British accent or in the original accent, sometimes it just doesn't hit, in my personal opinion, as a producer and also an engineer. But if you're able to pull it off, then I love it, you know? I really love it. Outside of that, though, back then, they're probably thinking, how on earth are these guys able to sing that way? Because when you listen to the song, like, oh, you know, it's true. It's like proper like American type shit. So it's craziness.
Better.
So people are like, how do they speak with a heavy accent but not sing with one? I mean, you know, it is possible. Adele does it. But here's where Rob, Fab, and Frank's scheme starts to fall apart. The next year, in 1989, they're performing at a concert in Connecticut in front of a crowd of about 80,000 people. And so they're up there on stage and they're dancing and they're hyping up the crowd and they're lip syncing. But then when they get to the chorus of Girl, You Know It's True, the track skipping and one line plays over and over again.
And it's so embarrassing because what are you going to do in that situation? You know what I mean? It's already nerve-wracking to perform in front of a lot of people. Do you get it? So now you're having a whole backing vocal. Just do the mad thing. Bro, I can never have imagined that, bro. That's what I always say to artists, that, bro, it's not an easy job that you guys basically have. I can't lie.
Because they're not sure what else to do. Now, as funny as that is, that actually doesn't ruin their career. Because, you know, sometimes singers use backing vocal tracks while performing live so that they can dance and run around stage and not run out of breath and stuff.
And that's also the reason why I respect people like Beyonce, for example. That lady, she'd be really, really singing, you know what I mean? Singing, performing, running up and down is like, it's ridiculous, man. She's amazing.
Very common. But also, there were no social media platforms during this time for this moment to go viral.
And that's the reason why people say that social media has basically destroyed music and entertainment as a whole, because in 2 seconds, I would have went on TikTok and their career would have been finito straight away. People would have started digging receipts, finding old tweets, finding this, finding that. It's ridiculous, you know what I mean? So we're in very interesting times, to say the least.
Viral. So Rob and Fab are safe. But then they run into another problem. One of the original session singers for Milli Vanilli's album, he sees all the success they're having, and their songs are like hitting #1, and I guess he's mad that he's not getting the recognition he feels like he deserves. So he tells a New York newspaper that he was one of the real singers on the album and that Rob and Fab are just straight up frauds. And this story starts to get a little traction. And so Frank, you know, the original producer of Milli Vanilli, he knows this is bad. I mean, it could ruin the group's reputation. And so he pays that session singer $150,000 to not only stop talking about it, but to retract his statement. So
But as soon as obviously the guy retracts his statement and it kind of gets swept underneath, the carpet. But it eventually comes out that, look, these guys are actually capping. They weren't really the ones singing, And it was a whole big thing because by this time they had won a Grammy. The Grammy then needs to get taken back from them and they're literally embarrassed. And this all stemmed from the fact that I think an interviewer was basically saying, oh, like, you guys aren't really singing, da 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 da. Then they basically start singing. And they sound nothing like the original record. So people are like, nah. It's craziness. Do you get it? So this is basically what could happen. And now we're in a state where people are starting to leverage AI and getting that entire bag right now. And it's becoming very alarming because look at this. You got people like Xenia or Zania Monet literally getting interviewed, and it's an entire big thing of, oh, she finally revealed her face, blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? So let's look at it, man.
Forward to meeting you, because a lot of people are saying, who is this girl? Who is she? Because for so many people, they think she's not real, she doesn't exist. Why did you want to come and reveal yourself in this way?
I wanted to reveal myself because I wanted people to know there was a real person behind Zanaya, that there's real emotion and soul put into those lyrics.
Talisha Jones, who also goes by the name Nikki, isn't a singer.
Hi, this is Zanaya.
Zanaya Monet began as an avatar she created while teaching herself AI just 4 months ago.
Don't treat me like a plane you ain't sure about.
I'm not going to play that because of copyright. Do you get it? But we've all seen the news. Like, she got 3 mil from this. You get it? So this is something that is real. It's not going to go away, and it's quite alarming at that. But my people, this is the reality that we're now living in, right? So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'm leaving all the links down below because we always have to credit the creators, right? It's getting alarming. Well, as a creator, it's getting alarming. I can't lie. It's one of those things where I always question, will there be room for actual creators, people that really love music and people that really want to do this in the near future? I don't really know. But regardless, we still do this because we love it and things like that. So let me know down in the comments, like the video, if you like these type of videos and this type of style where I take you through different concepts, etc. Then of course, just let me know as well. And also I want to give a big shout out to Bolo as well, because Bolo, the producer, by the way, because I actually got this entire idea from him. I'm going to leave his link down below as well. And also, yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, support the boy. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.